Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to the other side of the wormhole, the lost thoughts of the But Why Though, the podcast. And today, we're going to do, I guess, if you haven't watched already, but watch the Meet the Editor, where we basically give a nice background information on our editor, Asa Big Mountain. Well, today we're going to kind of go into, me and him are going to go into kind of what his favorite, and some of his thoughts on some of the episodes, since he's in UK and doesn't have a chance to always talk about everything. For those of you that first time ever watching this or seeing this, this is live on Twitch TV on our channel, Twitch TV/ButWhyThoughPC. So we'll have some interaction with chat, possibly do whatever. I mean, how we do on Twitch, and then you can find them and upload them. So let's go ahead and meet our editor, Asa. How you doing today?
Hello. Good, thanks, man. You?
Good, good. And as always for Asa, we will always use the Meet the Editor with a giant mountain in the background. That is your new logo.
I might have to make that my profile picture.
There you go. Make the profile picture that way. Alright, so today, so we've kind of done something where people got to know you, but today people, learned a little bit about you, but we kind of want to know what you think about the podcast per se. And obviously we know you're an editor, we know some of your favorites, as you talked about Tomb Raider, best related. But let's kind of go down the list and see, I guess, if you have any thoughts about any of the other episodes as well. So I guess we'll start off with, Tomb Raider was your most relatable one, and your most, new one because of the editing. What's another one you enjoyed and thought, or you want to add something to?
Sort of think.
It's supposed to be
I'll say one of the other most relatable ones, actually quite recent, was Transformers.
Ooh, that's definitely been one of our big ones there.
Yeah, I remember when the first Transformer movies came out and seeing the trailers for that, and just like, okay, yeah, what's not to like? There's just these big robots fighting everything. I've got to see this. So
people love big robots fighting each other.
Yeah, I kind of always just had a love for Transformers, even as a kid. Just like I'd seen some of the cartoons and stuff, and like that was cool. But then all of a sudden, all the new graphics and all the explosions and Michael Bay and all that kind of really all brought it out for me, and I was just like, man, I gotta see that.
So, are you an actual fan of the movies or more of a comics person?
More movies than comics.
Okay, or I guess TV shows. I guess would be better if you didn't read comics per se.
Yeah. So still movies. I'd go with the movies.
Would you ever pay like $300 for a Transformer doll or toy?
No.
What if Allie wanted one?
What if Allie wanted one?
Yep. Would you cave?
No.
Good job. Excellent response. You can come back at any time. So yeah, Transformers was one of the recent ones. We're good. Have you seen the new movie yet?
I haven't actually. No.
Ooh,
I haven't had the time to.
Falling behind.
I am.
What is your most recent
only just about
movie?
saw Wonder Woman. Actually, Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
I just about caught it. So.
That's good. Well, we did actually not only an episode on just Wonder Woman itself, if I can get my finger in the screen, but an actual recap of the movie. So, what did you think about the movie then?
I actually really enjoyed the movie. Obviously, like I said in the last episode, I never really had much experience with comics.
Right.
So I was literally coming at it with a completely fresh set of eyes and ears. I had no idea what to expect, except from what's, I guess, more or less common knowledge about her. And what I really liked was the fact that she's so set into her ways, and obviously her bubble is what she thinks life is, and all of a sudden humanity just comes crashing through, kind of like we do in real life anyway. And she had to forcefully adapt, but she still kept to her own beliefs, despite the fact that no one believed her.
Yeah, that's good. So, speaking of the movies, since obviously you like the Wonder Woman movie, are you caught up on all the Marvel movies as well?
I am, yes.
Okay, and DC movies?
No, not so much on DC.
So you've not. Which movies are you missing then?
I haven't watched a few of them.
Okay. So how about this? For comic book movies or superhero movies, where do you rate Wonder Woman?
Are we saying like on a scale of 1 to 10, or?
I'm saying in between, I guess, out of all the Marvel movies and DC movies you've seen. Is it up near like
Okay.
top 5? Is it your top 3? Number 1? Is it bottom 4?
That's the thing. I'd probably say it's probably just shy of top 5.
Okay, so what's above it? If it's 6, what's your number 5, and then what's your number 7?
All right, so number 5, I'd probably say was Iron Man.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of all the Marvel movies, you go with the highest rated movie as your 5th best movie.
Well, I like Iron Man, but kind of in the back of my mind, all I'm thinking is, hey, that's just some rich dude in a suit he made. That's cool. Wish I had money. You know, that's kind of constantly in the back of my head. What I do love about him is the fact that he's just so sarcastic, and I can relate to that.
So what do you have above Iron Man?
Mainly the Thors and Captain America movies, as well as Civil War. I did quite like Civil War.
For anybody that watches this movie, you see that little tag right below his thing on there. Feel free to add him and tell him how disgraceful this has been for the last like 5 minutes.
I can't help it. I get excited when there's so many characters all together in one movie. I'm just like, oh shit, what's happening?
So what's the one right below Wonder Woman then?
Right below Wonder Woman, I'd probably say Hulk.
I actually always forget that's even in there.
I know. I've seen Hulk, and you know, people talk to me about Marvel. I'm like, oh yeah, that was a thing. Yeah.
So have you actually caught up? Because pretty much all the movies you said were from like what, 2012, 2010. The UK is caught up, right? They're in 2017 still, correct?
Oh, I wouldn't push it that far.
So yeah, so that was about the Wonder Woman the movie. Obviously, we rated it there, and you obviously enjoyed the movie. Do you know anything about Wonder Woman herself? I mean, the actual character besides the movie?
Not really, no. Pretty much the movie's it for me.
Okay. So what did you learn? Because obviously you edit these episodes. What was one thing that you took away from that episode that you really enjoyed then?
I'd probably say more about her history.
Okay.
I think it was Kate that was talking about her,
Yes.
like kind of like her background and stuff like that. And like literally all I knew is from the movies. It's kind of just like, okay, she was made out of clay. Cool. That's something that's kind of in my mind, and it kind of kept on from that. But it was like the ancestry and stuff before that.
So I guess since that, do you like her as a demigod, or would you rather her be like an Amazonian?
I think I'd rather she was just an Amazonian than a demigod.
Okay.
But I can accept the fact that she's a demigod. You know, it kind of does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's kind of where they've been pushing and where she's at now. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, I like the whole. I mean, the demigod thing. I get it. Yeah, I get it with the powers. It's kind of cool, but I don't really. Yeah. I'm not a fan of the whole like how they try to fit it into Greek mythology, per se.
Yeah.
Like
I like the weapons. You know, like the lasso of truth and stuff like that. You know, that's a fantastic concept.
Sword and shield, or no sword and shield?
I like the sword and shield.
Okay, that's good. I wasn't at first, but I've kind of become a little fan, at least of the sword. I don't know per se about the shield per se, but I definitely become a fan of the sword.
Yeah. I don't think she necessarily always needs the shield. I mean, you know, most of the blocking and stuff she's doing with those bullets was just done with her arm guards.
Right. So that's true.
I think the shield was a little bit showy.
You know, it's kind of funny though when you see that thing, not the arm guards, but when she's holding that shield when she's walking in No Man's Land, is why did nobody just shoot her in the leg?
That is a pretty good point, actually. It wouldn't have made a good movie, that's why.
I didn't want to ruin it, but like, what do we, hey, just aim like below the shield, hit her in the shins, then she's going to go down, and then she can't walk anymore.
Can you imagine how much of a good movie that would be? Just like this epic moment, Wonder Woman crossing no man's land, shields raised. Oh, she just got kneecapped.
Yep. She took an arrow, or I guess in this case, a bullet to the knee. So, yeah.
I have a feeling that probably wouldn't make very good cinema.
No, it would not. So I guess since we've moved from Wonder Woman, we're going through, probably just try to hit some topic thing. What do you say was your the most, I guess, educational episode, I guess, for you?
Most educational for me, I'd probably say, was the Miyazaki episode. I literally went into that blind when Kate told me what the topic was for that week. I was like, "Is what? Who?" Which is probably sacrilege, and I'm probably gonna have to delete my Twitter account now.
Nope, I mean,
a shame. I've used it like 4 times.
You should use it more. Part of the podcast, it should be allowed, mandated that you need to use Twitter.
That's right. I'd edit things. It's cool.
That's cool. So yeah, educational. Yeah, for that episode, we do not have a wormhole for that one, unfortunately, because that whole episode for me is definitely an educational one. It was one of those. Yeah. I didn't know. I'm not a big fan of anime, but so yeah. So speaking of the anime, I guess, what about the Sailor Moon or the Dragon Ball Z? Since those are 2 other animes, did you know anything about those as well?
All right. So when I was a kid, I remember watching episodes of both.
Okay.
But not really fully understanding what was going on. Like, thinking back to it now, like, I can remember seeing Goku go Super Saiyan, but I didn't fully understand it at the time, and that's probably just because I wasn't following it religiously.
Mm-hmm.
And the same with Sailor Moon. Like, you know, I can still remember, like, the animations and stuff like that, but I never really fully understood why. So they were good episodes for me to figure out, like, how to put 1 and 2 together.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, because I know, like, for me, it's like, because I'm kind of the same boat where I watched Dragon Ball Z when I was younger. I actually followed maybe the first, like, season or 2, but it's been so long ago I forgot. Sailor Moon, I mean, I wasn't a big into it, but I knew what it was. I knew a few episodes, everything. But when it came to the Miyazaki, I can't pronounce the name. Kate makes fun of me all the time. I apologize, but I had no clue. And
I'm just waiting for a comment down chat.
yeah. Somebody in chat probably will, but it's fine. But yeah, that is one that I'm just totally was unfamiliar with. But definitely a good learning curve. So anybody watching should definitely probably check it out if you have no idea what it is either, or if you enjoy anime. Yeah. So yeah, apparently there's another anime because we went to RTX this weekend. Ruby, that's apparently a huge anime that I really wasn't aware of at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
I mean, my experience with anime was pretty much just Pokemon and Digimon.
I do talk about Digimon in one of these because Digimon was the first, I guess if you want to call it anime, I watched.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I realized that TV shows and stuff like that, they do seasons and they need to keep things going and things don't just end. Because I was so mad at the way the first season ended that I refused to watch any of it and quit it. Because I thought, I was like, this is like over, it's done. Like, we don't need to do anything else. Like, why is this happening? And it wasn't until when I grew older that I realized that, oh, yeah, they have to do sometimes dumb stuff just so they can keep the series going.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was tragic moment.
To be honest, I wouldn't mind rewatching Digimon, to be honest.
Yeah, no, Digimon 1 I thought was great.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the other 2, or I think
I
think they made 3 seasons, maybe 4, but yeah.
I definitely liked Pokemon more.
Right.
But in terms of anime, I think Pokemon was a bit childish for me in their behavior and the in the scripting.
Okay.
I kind of felt not condescended, but I kind of just thought, okay, come on, get on with it. It was a lot of filler for me.
Okay. Yeah, I never really watched any of the Pokemon. I played maybe a few of the games, but that was about it for Pokemon Day.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean I've played the game since I think it was Game Boy Advance. I started with
I had a Game Boy Color.
Pokemon Gold. Yeah, I played the color game in the advanced console. I had Game Boy, no, yeah, Game Boy Advance, but I had Pokemon Gold.
Yeah, it was before Gold.
That was my first one, and then I went into Sapphire, and then kept going from there.
So I've actually had Game Boy Red, or Pokemon Red, with the turquoise Game Boy, which I saved up and spent all that money on. To this day and age, I now have Pokemon Blue. I still have that turquoise Game Boy, but I have no idea how the hell I have Pokemon Blue, and where the hell my Pokemon Red is. That is one mystery in life that I still sometimes pull it open to look at and question, like, I have no idea where I got this from and where mine went.
I mean, I remember going back to Digimon with my PlayStation 1. I used to have a game called Digimon 2000. I used to come home from school, eat food, put that on, and I used to play the crap out of that. And then just, I don't know where my disc went. I don't know if I lost it, someone accidentally got rid of it or anything. I just don't know what happened to it. I mean, I'd definitely get another one, actually, if they're still available. Let's just try to hunt one down.
Well, I'm sure hunting one down, besides using the interwebs, which you can pretty much find anything on this day and age.
Yeah, more or less.
But speaking of which, since I kind of mentioned Ruby and we talked about that, which unique items, depending on which one you go, but conventions and recaps. What do you think about our convention recaps? Do you like them? Do you enjoy them?
I do, actually. I remember
like learning. I mean,
I remember the first one that we did. I can't remember which convention it was off the top of my head.
The very first one we did was PAX South.
Right, yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
And I remember how spontaneous the entire thing was. It was just talking about the whole convention, and then the way the microphones recorded it. You know, you could hear the constant background noise and chatter and stuff like that.
Yeah, that one was...
And then all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, Dr. Eggman comes and sits in. It's like, okay, well, that happened.
Yeah. So that one was actually really unique and really cool because we were able to actually record live on the floor. And so obviously we had that interaction, people walking up like, oh my gosh, you're awesome, come sit down, let's do this, and whatnot. But what about the ones like past that? Because obviously not all the conventions we go to we can just record on the floor. We have all our equipment, everything else. I mean, do you find them enjoyable? Do you find them educational? Do you not care for them at all?
I always like them because it's something that I can't go to, at least yet, you know. So it's nice to be able to experience the, you know, at least where you guys are at through you. Even though I'm editing and stuff like that, I still get to kind of be a part of it. So
that's good. I mean, that's why we like doing them, because obviously not everybody can go to them, or not everybody lives here. But we just want to make sure people actually like if you were just from you, because obviously you're kind of like, as much as you're part of the podcast team, you're also on the outside per se. Yeah, those are like, I guess, good episodes and worth listening to. And I want to make sure that all of our recaps are, because I personally like doing them just because I'm like, this was awesome, I was here. But I just don't know how much as a listener people actually want to listen to them, and I hope they would. But yeah.
Personally, I always enjoy them, so.
That's good. What's your favorite one? I mean, I guess besides the PAX one on the floor, what's your favorite, I guess, recap that we've had to do? You want me to listen?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I mean, I know you said except PAX, but I'd definitely just say PAX anyway.
Yeah, I hate... PAX was the main episode. We got all the stuff. We got the interviews live on the floor. I don't think we're going to top PAX as far as, like, the actual environment. But I guess more of, like... okay, how about this was a bit better question. That'd probably be better. Out of all the convention recaps, what convention would you most like to go to? Because we've gone to a variety of different ones so far.
Yeah. I think you did TwitchCon, didn't you? We've
been to TwitchCon, and you probably think we've done a recap because that was like probably the best convention that Kate and I have been to, but we have not actually done an episode on it.
Right, you may have just given me a personal recap.
Yeah, like I say, that's one of the things we try. We hold it up here, and then we try, and then when it comes to other conventions. So I guess the breakdown differences we have. There was El Paso Comic-Con, which was more of comics and like cosplay and other things that Adrian and his wife went to, Stefani. And then
I remember, yeah.
Yeah, the DreamHack that Kate and I went to, which is basically an esports gaming convention where there's basically nothing but games and like prize money and stuff like that in tournaments. Obviously, South by Southwest, and then I guess technically today, depending on when you watch this video, what time. If you watch it tomorrow, RTX, which will come out, which are kind of both like expo conventions. RTX being more anime and other type of YouTube stuff versus South by Southwest was just South by Southwest. That's about all I can say about that one.
I've kind of always liked the idea of Comic-Con, even though, you know, comics have kind of always been a bit of a grey area for me. It's the kind of thing I like to learn. So, I mean, I don't have much time for comics, but actually, I found out the other day, we are actually getting our own Comic-Con here on the Isle of Wight.
Oh, there you go.
They're actually organised. We're getting 3 of the original Power Rangers, too. So, we're even getting some celebrity guests.
There you go. Yeah.
So, I'm definitely going to go with that. And
so I guess another question is, as a fan and viewer that don't get to go there, like, what type of conventions would you like us to go to? I mean, assuming the comic ones are better. See, for me personally, I love types of stuff like DreamHack because I can sit around, do nothing, I can eat pizza, and I can just watch pro players play all day. That does not bother me at all.
Things I'm not a massive fan of like the whole pro playing thing, which is probably just me being salty because I can't get anywhere close to that, and they just keep ruining my life every time I go on a game. But you know, I'd kind of like to go to a convention where you get all the devs and, you know, you can test out up and coming games and stuff like that. I get like little sneak peeks. That's the kind of thing that would probably more excite me if I would go to one.
Yeah, so you probably more like a PAX would probably be a better one for you, obviously.
Yeah.
Because that's more of a gaming penny arcade episode and a gaming one. Like the Comic-Con one's cool. I don't know how many. I mean, I've been to kind of blend, but I haven't really been to like the Comic-Con stuff per se because it's more of like, I guess, obviously comics and then like cosplay and then like, you know, you get your like movie stars and all the other stuff versus like the game ones where you're like, I'm looking for a game developer, whereas the other one you're like, I'm looking for this celebrity. So that's probably so about how it goes. So yeah, Rooster Teeth was kind of more of a gaming one for us, I want to say. Obviously, you can check it out here in a day or so.
I mean, like, I'm definitely gonna go to the Isle of Wight Comic-Con simply because, you know,
pictures and updates.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally gonna be down the road from me. I mean, where it's happening is a place called Northwood House, which I actually worked at for 5 years. I used to work as a actor for an entertainment company down there. Yeah, for 5 years, so I know the place pretty well. So having our own Comic-Con happen somewhere I'm so familiar with is gonna be pretty cool for me, I reckon.
That's cool. Yeah, no, hopefully we expect a lot of pictures in. For those of you that don't know, usually when we go to these conventions, besides having obviously a recap episode, which we're talking about, we also post all of our pictures from the convention that we take. Because obviously, if you're not there, we at least want to show you what was there. And then obviously, those are also big episodes, even if you don't necessarily listen, which I think you should, to read the show notes from all the interesting and lovely people we meet. Like this past one, we met a ton of people. It was great.
Yeah.
So yeah, we expect a lot from that when that happens.
I think the amount of great people and the stuff you've met as well, like all the charity work and stuff like that we can now become involved with.
Yeah, it's been great. Coming involved with some of the charities. Like we had an episode on Stack Up, which we actually interacted with the people from Stack Up Austin. Adrian's obviously, if you listen to the episode, involved in Stack Up El Paso.
Yep.
And yeah, we're doing another one here in about, I think, 2 weeks. This is July 10th. I like to state the date because people like watching from different days. But yeah, July 10th.
Technically it's July 11th for me.
Yes, there you go. Well, July 10th, American time. That we'll have another one here in about 2 weeks or so on One Up on Cancer, which we also got to meet again as well. And then hopefully we'll have a few more down the road. For our missions,
definitely.
That matter. So yeah, so those are convention recaps. I guess I didn't get to ask you, but do you enjoy the movie recaps as well?
Definitely more when I've actually seen the movie.
That's probably fair. That's probably to be fair. You think there's something that's good that we should keep doing?
Yeah, for sure, honestly. Mainly because the ones where I have seen the movie before having to edit the recap, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't notice that. You know, stuff like that, you know, all of a sudden something will click. So, You know, normally you get that from watching a movie like 2 or 3 times, but you know, listening to the recap can pull it out sometimes too. So
yeah, those are a little tricky for us. For one, either selecting the movies what we feel is like worth a recap versus what's not worth a recap. And then we all have to make sure we see the movie. And then obviously we run into the problem where there's times where you haven't seen the movie. We want to make sure our listeners at least have time to see the movie, but then not too much time. They're like, this movie came out like a year ago. Like, why are we now getting this? But yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, that's good. I just want to make sure because I mean it's something that we enjoy doing, and obviously editing. We just want to make sure you, as a, like I said, an outsider, feel that's great too.
Yeah.
Worth doing. So moving thing. Obviously, I'm assuming esports. You don't care for esports.
Not particularly. I mean, like, I appreciate it. But I'd be honest, I'd probably rather play a game than watch someone play it for me.
I keep saying that, and I feel like these day and days or whatever, I feel like all I do is watch Twitch. I get home and I'm like, let's play a game. Yeah, and then I turn on Twitch and I'm like, I think I'll just lay here. I don't need to play a game.
No, it's like all I do on my lunch breaks at work is like, alright, what game am I going to watch on YouTube today?
Yeah, big YouTube. Never been in YouTube. Obviously, these are all on YouTube, but for some reason, I'm not the YouTube person. I'll watch Twitch for hours and hours, but
Yeah.
I'm disappointed we will not make it to TwitchCon this year unless something amazing happens. I was really looking forward to it. Twitch I'm not a fan of the Long Beach. They made it pricey. They didn't know where to get tickets. They made it to where you can only buy one ticket at a time.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
But
I mean, I'd like to go to Long Beach, but hey.
Yeah, it was just, like I said, going to Long Beach, California should not cost me $200 more than going to San Diego, California. On just like travel expenses and tickets, and actually not including tickets. But yeah, between that, it should just not cost more. Actually, it's like $200 per person, if not more. It just should not be that much more pricey. But it is what it is. We'll figure another one out. I'll say, I guess if you come to the US of A and have a time frame, we can see what we can do there. We can find.
Yeah, we'll find something.
Find some good stuff. I said, you're obviously not a fan of Dream Hacks. There's Dream Hacks. I love Dream Hacks. That and their tickets are obviously cheaper, but I don't care.
No, we can always plan my visit around a con.
There you go. That we can have everybody on here.
Yep.
Yeah. So we talked about, I guess, obviously just some of the side stuff we do. And then we had some of the educational ones. And I guess you like Transformers, was a fun. I guess you prefer, I know you talked about the history. When we talk about some of this stuff, do you prefer not just the history, I guess would be a better question. Do you like it? I'm trying to think how to word good thing. I guess, do you like the educational like part of the episodes versus, I guess, the not necessarily non-educational, but like the fun stuff? I guess it'd be the history first.
I like having the history kind of to know more about what I'm talking about, so that when we do incorporate fun stuff, like jokes aren't going over my head. I'm like,
yeah, that's true.
But why was that funny? I don't get it. Is there something I'm missing? Yeah. You can kind of understand it better. So. Are
you a big history buff in general?
Not really, no. I mean, like, I like, I like my facts and stuff. Pointless knowledge. Well, no knowledge pointless, but trivia and stuff like that. But no, not. I don't really follow history or anything that much.
Yeah. So, I know I've been trying, and we'll have to. Maybe we can keep doing. Kate keeps talking about doing a history segment, so she can talk about all the history she wants. She just hadn't got around to doing it. Might have to push her around for it, whatnot. So another thing we talked about, for the podcast, I'm going to bring it up, and you can go with however you'd like to say. You had an Arc Life segment. Is your life still alive in Arc? It kind of went through.
Yeah.
Kind of got left on a cliffhanger, and it pulled like a ABC and canceled it after like 2 episodes.
Yeah, so the way I did that is I kind of backdated what was happening to when I started on the server, and kind of try to write towards the present time, but everything moved so quickly I kind of got buried with that, and basically I moved off of the server I was originally writing on. I moved over to an expansion pack called Scorched Earth, I played that for a couple of months, and actually today I'm moving back to the island, which is the main map, and I have it open on my TV right now. I'm transferring stuff from Scorched Earth back to the island. Not right now, obviously,
Well, obviously, yeah.
but I'm in the process of moving house. So
we're gonna ever get some more updates on Arc Life for us? I will put you on the spot on Twitch TV. This is what my job is. We bring the cold hard questions. I'm gonna say facts.
Yeah, it's possible. If people want to read it and people want to see it, then I'll do it.
Nice. Yeah. So no. So I was just wondering because I know we had that on there, and I've seen how well your arc was going there.
Yeah, did pretty good. So,
have you playing any other games?
Rainbow Six Siege.
Rainbow Six Siege.
Been playing quite a bit of that.
Okay.
I know it's a little bit aging now, but
it is what it is. It's still fun.
The thing I like about it is the fact that it's a first-person shooter, but it's not like Call of Duty or Battlefield or anything like that. You don't just run in, guns blazing. Oh, I died, better respawn. You know, you have to pick the right operator for the job. You know, the right operator for you to use. You have to use tactics and special weapons and stuff like that to be able to try and get the job done. Otherwise, you're not gonna hope in hell. Yeah, sometimes running in guns blazing actually works because it throws your opponent off, but you know, it actually does require a little bit of patience and skill, and I like that.
That's good. So speaking of which, so we've talked about the movies. We kind of mentioned Tomb Raider and then esports and whatnot. What is your favorite type of episode that we have, I guess?
Favorite type of episode we have? Probably, probably talking about games.
Okay.
They're always something that I've been pretty passionate about. Close second, I'd say, is movies.
Yeah, because I mean, I know we have a variety of topics between movies, games, and just other random TV shows and whatnot. So I didn't know. Is there any game that you would like to see coming in the future? I mean, obviously, we open topics, but then trying to fit stuff in. But is there one that you feel that we just need to get
obviously, I'd like to say Halo.
Okay.
But in terms of being more likely as a viable episode, I'd probably say the Assassin's Creed franchise.
How many Assassin's Creed games have you played?
Oh God.
Have you played them all?
All but the latest one, I think.
Okay.
I even played there's a PSP game called Brotherhood, which went a little bit more into Altair's life, which I did like, because I didn't expect the second one to move on from Altair. That kind of threw me off when all of a sudden I got the second game. I was like, yeah, you know what's going to happen. And all of a sudden, like, who's this Spanish dude? What?
See, that's the problem. Like, so Assassin's Creed franchise is one of my favorite franchises, but then they kind of, and I kind of hope we do an episode. I feel like it's worthy of an episode.
Yeah.
But it's also another problem with, after about 5, Ubisoft, as kind of Activision and a few other game companies have learned, they just start driving things in the ground and killing it, and I just haven't been able to play anything for a while.
I think the turning point for me was probably Black Flag.
That's pretty much the turning point, I believe, for everybody. Either that one or the one right before it. That's pretty much the turning point when they're like, let's just pump games out, and we don't even give a shit if there's a story.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, I really love the games and the way they work and everything, but I think you can have too much of a good thing, and it gets to a point where they're kind of just milking it.
That's pretty much, to me, what's happened with the Call of Duty series as well.
Yeah. With Call of Duty, it kind of, like, I'm glad they're taking it back to World War II now.
Where Call of Duty started, for all you fans that probably never knew, Call of Duty started in World War II, World War I games. Not advanced, whatever, they're in space now.
But, you know, I kind of think they're trying to take some of Battlefield's thunder. They've kind of seen, oh, hang on a minute, they did a World War game and everyone's losing their shit. Oh, well, better jump on that, hadn't we?
Well, I mean, there's really nowhere else for them to go. I mean, Advanced Warfighter, Modern Warfare, whatever, just kind of can only do so much, and you just got to kind of reboot it all back up.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Are you a fan of, I guess, since we're talking about video games, whatnot, are you a fan of movie games? Such as like the Spider-Man games. I think some of the Tomb Raider games were part based on the movie, even though I think it was more the other way around. Or even movie based on games types.
I remember playing the original Spider-Man games. I think it was PlayStation 2.
Yeah, there's
they came out on.
We just did a Spider-Man episode. There's 37 games.
Yeah, I remember you saying about that. I remember playing a couple of those on PlayStation 2, and I did like them. I think the story kind of got lost on me a little bit, and I was kind of just like, all right, whose ass am I kicking next?
Yeah.
I like going back to Assassin's Creed. I did like the movie.
Okay, I've not actually seen the movie yet. I was kind of worried because I didn't know, because this franchise has gone such weird direction. / I don't know. I didn't know what the hell to expect from the movie, so I just kind of said I wasn't gonna watch it.
I think the movie was weird. It was unnecessary. Like, you know, Assassin's Creed would be fine without the movie. It didn't really give them anything. It didn't really take anything away. But if you were going to watch it, the only thing I'd say is it's important that you remember that it's not the game.
I mean, I assume that much. So, well, that's good.
There's a lot of similarities, obviously, with things like the Animus, but
right.
the Animus isn't how you know the Animus, if that makes sense.
Okay. What about Prince of Persia movie? Were you a fan of that?
I mean, it was alright, I guess. I mean, I never really got into it that much.
I didn't think it was... Okay, it was one of those movies where I didn't think it was great. I thought it was okay. But then I come to find out that people really hate that movie, and I just kind of never... I guess I didn't play enough of the game to understand.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, that's one of the movies where people, like, really, really hate, apparently, the movie. But I was like, I didn't know that. Okay.
I played the game a bit, and I watched the movie a couple of times, and it's not like, you know, if I'm sat down with a friend, it's like, oh, what should we watch? Like, oh no, let's go watch Prince of Persia, and you're like, that'll never happen.
Well, yeah. I think I actually saw that in the movie theater. But yeah, a long time ago. So yeah, trying to think what all episodes we have. Are you a fan? What are some of your, I guess, niche? Do you have any like niche type fandoms? Like, I know Kate, we did a Buffy episode. She really enjoyed that one.
Okay. I am quite into Warhammer 40k.
Okay.
So it's predominantly a tabletop game. It's been around since I think it was the 80s, based off of like books and books and books of lore, and then it turned into a like a minifigure like tabletop game.
Okay.
In fact, I even have some of my painting stuff next to me with some of the models that I've been painting.
Oh.
I don't really play as much these days. In fact, I recently started playing Dungeons and Dragons for the first time with some of my colleagues from work.
Are you talking about the 20-sided dice Dungeons and Dragons, or
yeah,
more of like the game? Okay.
Yeah, like actual tabletop. We'll make out paper maps and all that kind of stuff, and role play it. Cool. But we'll sometimes use some of the 40k models for monsters within Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool too. Kind of being able to use my models that I paid so much for in other things.
People and their statues and models that they buy and the amount of money they spend.
Yeah. It's like we got this one model here. I'm kind of disappearing off camera a minute.
Oh, no,
he is one of the new Chaos models, but we're going to use him as sort of like a boss. So I've been kind of painting up his banner and stuff like that. I still got to paint his armor and everything, but we'll be getting there.
Good. Getting there. I see. So that's cool. Did they have a video game on that? I thought they did.
On 40k.
Is it? So it's Warframe? Is that correct?
Not Warframe. No, we had Dawn of War.
Right.
1, 2, and 3, I believe, with a couple of expansions too. There was the Tau had their own game called Fire Warrior, I believe.
Okay.
It's not Warhammer 40k, but it is Warhammer. The Total War have just done a Warhammer game, which is based off the Warhammer Fantasy side of Games Workshop. Space Marine came out, which was a fantastic game. I really, really did enjoy that.
Heard of that, I can't think of that.
Yeah. It was basically a story about the Ultramarines, which are a chapter Space Marines and their fight against the orcs, and a conflict between a certain captain and his duty and the path that he takes, basically. Which I was pretty disappointed to find out there was actually meant to be 3 games, but the first one didn't do so well financially, and they had to cancel them.
See, as much as I'm sad about that, that's what happened to Assassin's Creed. It was supposed to be 3 games, but it did so well they turned it into 10.
Yeah. So if you could just shift some of that money over to somewhere else, that'd be great. That'd be really great. Like, there was even a 40K movie. It was made. I can't remember exactly when it was made, but the animation was so janky that it's good for its story, but to watch it, it's almost a little bit painful. But there's a fan-made movie coming out where it keeps getting pushed back. It's kind of like Ark Survival. It keeps getting pushed back and back because it's literally the one guy working on it. And he's using Unreal Engine and stuff like that to render it all.
Okay.
But it's called The Lord Inquisitor. So there's a 7-minute trailer out at the moment, if anyone wants to look that up.
That was a long, well, I guess that's not too long of a trailer.
Yeah, it's more of a... like a, hey guys, I know I keep pushing this back. I promise you I'm actually doing work. Look at this.
That's funny.
So.
So we talked about video games. What's the next, I guess, episode besides a video game that you would like to see, I guess, from, us at this point?
Besides video games, I said this in the last episode, definitely Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, yeah. That is a big one.
Yeah, I think that might not even be able to fit into one part.
Yeah, this is why we have
especially
this.
if we want to bring in the Hobbit.
Yeah, this is why we have this, so I try to supplement and help, because some of these topics are just so big.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to get down an hour. Like, I remember doing Spider-Man notes and trying to condense that, even Kate with her Wonder Woman notes, or even like some of the Sailor Moons or something. Trying to condense to be an hour was like, wow, this is so hard.
Yeah.
And you can talk for hours. So Lord of the Rings. What about a TV show at all? Or TV series?
TV show?
It can be either cartoon, anime, well, I guess technically it's kind of the same thing, but, or anything else.
I think it might be quite an interesting one to get into, especially with some of the points of view that especially Kate comes through with.
Okay.
I'd quite like to hear you guys talk about things like Family Guy and American Dad.
That is actually, I had that on there. I don't know if anybody's actually cared to want to look in there, but I have basically not necessarily just Family Guy and American Dad. I have Seth MacFarlane, what he's done. I know possibly the Simpsons would be in there, which I obviously was kind of before my time and whatnot, and for that really kind of whatever. That's something that I've wanted to do. I put it in there because we have a giant list. So if anybody watching this feels like submitting us or hitting us up on one of our social medias, you can always see it right there at the bottom. Feel free with suggestions. We're always going to take suggestions. That is definitely, that's something I want to do. I don't know about the other two. We might have to figure that out.
There's so much you could talk about with them. I mean, like, a lot of his points of view are funny, but as long as you're on the right end of it. Like, sometimes there can be a lot of racial insensitivities.
Yeah, I guess you go with that.
With some of the stuff you're saying, especially with some of the Native American stuff that he brings out. Like, I can kind of laugh it off, but at the same time, it's like, I don't think some of my family would.
I guess that is fair. I guess that's one of the hard things between, obviously it'd be a good point to talk about, but I also point within comedy itself. Depends on where if there's a line, do you draw this line? Where's this line at? Do you have a line?
Yeah, what's too far?
Yeah. So you had me on a thought, and you went on with the whole line thing. See, this is what happened. But, yeah, I get, topics, like, that's why. So that was one thing. So, like, obviously I said I was up for this. And not that the other two are not, but trying to, like, sometimes picking a topic can be very challenging as well. Because, one, you want to pick topics that you're passionate about, but you want to make sure, we don't have topics where people are just, like, left out to dry. I mean, it's not like it's necessarily bad, and it's a great learning experience. I did that on Sailor Moon. I had briefly maybe 3 episodes of my life that I've seen out of that series. I know Adrian with when we, by the time this is probably edited, True Crime, our new episode, which will probably release tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. 2 days from now, July 12th. Adrian was not a big thing and didn't really know a lot about it. So, I mean, that's always cool, but you want to try to get something that, like, everybody can relate to in some way or form. Obviously, we like the whole different perspective and learning things, but that's definitely something to think about. So I guess thinking, would you like the whole, would you rather be on an episode where you could, like, lead it type, or would you rather just learn, or is you kind of in the middle?
I wouldn't mind doing it either, to be honest. Like, if you guys want to do some more musical based ones, I'd probably be able to help a lot more with stuff like that.
Yeah. We've talked about music stuff, but I don't know. Like I said, between picking topics, sometimes it's just, whew, and then it's just content going and going. I mean, record. Crap, we have to record. Like I said, Kate and I just recorded a thing. Adrian is on vacation right now. When he gets back, we'll be recording 2 more episodes. We will be doing a when depending on things, this Spider-Man episode recap, or Spider-Man movie recap is in the works and will be happening. Like I said, is whenever, I don't know when this.
I better watch the movie real quick then.
You might want to watch the movie, depending on that. And then obviously we have our new, we're recording another episode coming up this week. We will be preparing for Shark Week, Shark Week. I'm still trying to figure out how to do this exactly. Yeah, so
all you need to do is just do a David Attenborough voice, and I'll be happy.
Yeah. So we're doing Brian Cox. Get over it. This is where we go with all these.
Okay, we'll do. Okay, you know what? I'll do David Attenborough. You can be Brian Cox.
That's fair enough. Even though I know as much he probably knows, but he more physicist. But, yeah, that's been a hard thing, at least for sometimes, because obviously you mentioned music, you have a music background. I enjoy some of the, science stuff, but obviously, depending on things, obviously there are pop culture parts, where we did Bill Nye episode. Speaking of which, I guess how did you think that one happened? Went out, because that was, much as it was a TV show, it was more something a little different, because, it wasn't necessarily just like, they have TV shows and everything, but it wasn't necessarily about just the general TV show, like a Sailor Moon type, and it wasn't necessarily like a movie. It was kind of about what he was actually talking about, and I guess learning.
Yeah, I never realized quite how active he was within the science community. Yeah. I always thought, okay, he's the quirky science teacher, I got one of them at school, my science teacher at school was a legend, Mr. Keane. He was Irish and amazing. I could easily compare some of the stuff that he used to do to Bill Nye, but I never quite realized to what extent Bill Nye was actually making steps with science.
Yeah, no, he definitely was, as he's an engineer, and then moved on and became basically a celebrity rock star for scientists, and then kind of faded away, did a few other projects, and now it's back, and just kind of, I guess, using his thing to promote science. It's great. Yeah. Big fan of Bill Nye. By the way, following Bill Nye on stuff, he's hilarious. I don't know whether it's actually so much as him. The Bill Nye memes are great. The not Bill Nye, I believe, either Twitter or Instagram, I can't remember exactly, or even Facebook, whichever one it is, are also great. This is why you need Twitter, because you need to get the fake accounts, like the Not Sports Center, the Not Bill Nye, and whatnot, that just make great quotes that are hilarious.
Yeah.
Some of them are probably terrible, but still, they're awesome.
I might have to play with Twitter a bit more.
Yes, Twitter's fun. I enjoy Instagram as well.
I'm not a massive fan of Instagram yet.
I enjoy just taking pictures, looking at memes all day. I'm one of those meme people. I don't make them, but I'll look at them. And I like them.
Yeah, I can appreciate a good meme.
Yes, you can. Whew.
We could do a meme episode, like the history of memes.
They're already coming out with an emoji movie. Let's just see where that goes.
What, really?
Yeah, it should be out sometime this month, I believe. The end of this month.
Man, I hadn't heard anything about that.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing.
It kind of disappoints me that someone's making that.
They made, what was it, Pixel movie or whatever?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, so that is what it is. So yeah, we talked about, I guess, you talked about some of your niches. Talked about movies, TV shows. But now, is there anything that you just kind of wish that podcast would come talk about, or just like to hear that maybe we've missed?
I mean, as I said earlier, maybe some like the impacts that music has had on pop culture.
Okay.
I mean, that's probably because I've had to sit through endless lectures on popular culture and music's effect on popular culture on my degree. But I think it is a topic that matters more than some people would necessarily think off the top of their heads, because
so, right off the top of your
music
head,
is everywhere.
So we're going music with everywhere. Would you want like an episode on a particular band? Like say we took like a big band like the Beatles, or would you rather have something more of like genres of music? Would you rather have...
Yeah, I'd probably say more genre specific rather than narrowing it down to an individual band. I mean, like, you could literally just do an episode on the Beatles, with a band that's influential with them.
Like, yeah.
But I think covering a genre as a whole would be more beneficial.
Okay. See me taking notes here? This is me taking notes.
Like looking at maybe like the evolution of hip hop.
Right.
Stuff like that. That
I think
has
that
quite a
has
lot
been
of cultural
thrown
significance.
around a little bit. I believe by Kate at least. I think Adrian possibly. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
opposed to it obviously, but I know they've mentioned doing a music episode where you're wanting to.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, I even did my dissertation on the stereotypes associated with heavy metal.
Right.
That's always kind of been more my thing. Like, obviously, I played in a Foo Fighters band. They're not heavy metal, but they're hard rock. But with another band that I occasionally sing with, I always do the vocals on their metal tracks.
They have
just to
vocals
kind
on
of help.
metal tracks?
Yeah. just to kind of help them out a little bit.
Just yell? You just yell?
There's a bit more to it.
Okay, fair enough. What do you think about, since we're talking about, I guess, music and whatnot, we kind of incorporated sports. What is it? Okay, well, we got rap perpetuating gangster life among inner city blacks. Yeah, that could definitely be something we could talk about.
And then you also get like messages hidden within music and stuff like that too. Like not necessarily just with rap, but you get a lot of it with rock too. Like for example, there was My Chemical Romance, the Black Parade, when they got accused of basically being the head of a suicide cult because people were misinterpreting the meaning behind their lyrics.
Ooh.
There's stuff like that you can incorporate, and that goes across most genres really.
Mm-hmm.
Even Ed Sheeran gets shit.
Yeah, so I mean, that'd be something. Basically from the viewers and obviously from you saying, I guess a genre per se would be definitely something we could look into doing. I mean,
yeah,
definitely matters. I know music's everywhere. Or recording, summoning the dragon. We will not go there.
Yeah, that's actually a stereotype I mentioned in my dissertation.
Yeah,
is about subliminal messaging and satanic rituals supposedly being hidden within songs and stuff like that. Even Metallica got accused of that.
Yeah. No, I guess to me, the whole rap thing, it just I find it interesting because sometimes it does seem like people want to perpetrating the gangster life among, I guess obviously they talk about inner city black, but just like, I guess even the hip hop standards of just like some rap musicians, like you talk to them and whatnot. You've ever seen interviews and they don't seem that, but they literally almost put on a persona per se.
Yeah.
So that,
for example, people like Marilyn Manson.
Yes. I've heard
he could be quite a good one.
Yeah, I've also heard the same thing about like with some of the country musicians, whatnot, because you portray to your fan base, I guess and it's almost like you have this whole other character compared to what you actually are as in your everyday life.
So you over accentuate the part that you think people want to see.
Yeah, pretty much per se. Definitely be interesting. See, now I forgot where I was going with that. Again, that's what it was the next part. Yeah, so we were talking about music incorporation. What do you feel about, like, since we've kind of added sports as well?
I'm not a massive follower of sports.
Okay. Do you think it matters
I
in pop culture?
definitely, I definitely think it does. It's just, I mean, I don't personally, but most people, you can talk to even a stranger about sports, and you've got something in common automatically, and that kind of brings people together.
Oh yes, I've had many of times just going out to like a bar or something and watching a game and just sitting with random people, especially when it gets packed, and you just end up
Yeah,
cheering with these people and whatnot. It's awesome.
yeah, and I find a similarity with that with music as well. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, where I don't relate to sport, I also relate to music instead. You know, you get that, like, for example, I had someone come into my shop the other day who had a heartogram, which is a logo for a band called Him.
Hmm.
And I was like, nice heartogram. And he's like, what? You know it? And I'm like, yeah, dude, Him. And he's like, dude. And all of a sudden, we just strike up a conversation. You know, I think it's exactly the same with sports. You know, you see someone, you know, they're either wearing a particular, you know, jersey or a top or something. You're like, hey, you're a fan too. And you know, it's exactly the same with music.
Yeah, that I mean, about how I feel. I mean, I'm kind of glad we've been started incorporating sports. I wouldn't mind having. I really feel there probably will be eventually at least a football episode. Go Dolphins! Yes, go Dolphins! Big fan
Go
right
Dolphins.
there. Dolphins, yes. Even though we suck right now, I enjoy the Dolphins. I can talk about all our history, but yes. But yeah. So hopefully we get a football episode in sometime.
Yep.
I'm also been wanting to do at least, I don't know how they do, as you guys put over there, the university sports big over in the UK?
What do you mean by university sports? Because I think it's kind of different between our two different countries.
We basically give college students scholarship to play basketball, football, baseball, and everything else, and it's very
Okay.
big. It's almost $1 billion industry for at least for college
We
football.
we get that, but not to quite such a level.
Okay.
Like and different sports. Like we have soccer, cricket, and rugby. They're kind of the main ones, and occasionally you get hockey in there too. They're definitely like the main ones, but definitely not to the scale that you guys get in America.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess that's weird because at least from my understanding, so it's not as big. But does that mean like at least in soccer, I know they have like academies and everything. Would that be why it's not as big, or is it just not like universities more for actual learning than athletes?
Yeah, I mean, like,
I guess
it's like obviously you get sports teams and stuff for your universities, but they're not blown up to quite such a level as you get over there.
Okay.
It's like, hey, you know, University of Chichester are playing Oxford. You know, yeah, okay, I'll check the score later. It's not like, oh my God, there's a massive game, let's do it. You know, it's not.
The world
Loves
it
it when we call it soccer.
Yes, it is always great when we call it soccer. I kept wanting to say football, but I figured we just call it soccer.
That's right, I translate it for you.
Yeah, because I work in my lab. There's a person from Canada, Canadian, and one of the things he found fascinating when he came down and started living in America was like, and especially working for like a university, is, oh my gosh, like people love sports around here, and it's a huge part of the university and all this stuff. And he was like so blown away. He's like, yeah, well, we have like, you know, hockey up there, and they play for thing, but like when it comes to like university and colleges, we call it America, I guess, but it's just not as big a deal. Whereas you go to like,
Yeah.
you know, Alabama, UT, Florida, and I mean Ohio State. I mean, as much as they're like about education, it's like people literally like these schools based on their athletic teams.
I mean,
It's insane.
would you say that some of those athletes almost kind of get like a celebrity status?
Yeah, definitely.
See, we don't get that over here unless you're kind of in a major club.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean,
Like-
I think you get...
I mean, the kind of level I'm talking about is like when David Beckham came over to America and he was playing with, I think it was LA Galaxy or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's that kind of level where you have to get to for celebrity status. Obviously, you know, David Beckham's famous probably most places. But, you know, it's that kind of level of football or soccer because the world loves it when we call it soccer.
Yeah, no, so as far as college athlete goes, and depending on the sport and the level, yeah, some of them get, maybe not, I mean, obviously renowned as David Beckham, but they're pretty high, definitely celebrities. And especially in the major men's sports. Some of the female sports, not as per se as much, but I mean, they're definitely celebrities. Even in smaller schools, I mean, at least on campus wise, you're pretty much a celebrity depending on what, as long as it's like more of, you have athletics. I mean, I've gone to institutions of like technology where they didn't even have a football team, and I mean, obviously, and the funny thing was, everybody, their biggest joke was, we're always undefeated in football, and people are like, when are we gonna get one? And I'm like, we're like at like the top biology school in the country, like, I get it, but come on now. And then, like I said, and then I've also either worked and been at other, universities where athletics is a huge ordeal, and players, you're pretty much a walking celebrity and get stuff. So yeah, it's totally a crazy culture, and I find it fascinating, especially like I said, when I've talked to people from Asia, I've talked to you from the UK, people from Canada, and other like actual countries, and sometimes it just blows their mind, like how big of a status they get for that.
Yeah.
And
I'll say it's definitely like unheard of, over here to hit that kind of level, just from from an educational team.
As a viewer said, my mom wanted one of my students to sign a jersey for my dad. Yeah, that's pretty much how. Yeah, that's pretty much the point. Like, there are old 40 and 50-year-old men that will literally want like 22, 20-year-olds like autographs.
Yeah.
And so it's insane. I definitely really want to go to, as much as I want to do a football episode about professionals and what they've done there and how their culture thing. Because obviously we did an NBA episode, which I really enjoyed. But that was another episode that was hard to condense down. I think that ended up being one of our longer episodes. We also had a guest.
Yeah.
But I've been looking forward, and I really find the college atmosphere, I guess because I've been at universities either attending or working for like, I don't know, 10 years at this point. I feel like it's been forever. But yeah, it's definitely a totally different culture, and it's something that you definitely need to understand. And at least from like being around that, and like I guess growing from like looking at it, postgraduate student, or not postgraduate student, graduate student, and then after graduate student of working there, and whether it be like staff versus faculty and whatnot, it's just. It's a crazy culture, and it's something that I don't think a lot of people around the country seem to understand and grasp so much. I know there's been a lot of stuff going on with universities. Obviously, athletics are its own entity, but I just don't think some people, especially older people, like understand. Like I said, there's 50-year-olds that want signatures, and that's just insane to me. Somewhat crazy.
Yeah.
And it's big money too. It's very big money.
I mean, like soccer over here is massive money. Like you've got clubs transferring players for like stupid money, like almost hundred millions of pounds, just to have that player now on their team.
Oh yeah, soccer definitely.
So
I think
but again, that's at more of like a national level.
Yes.
So yeah, it's kind of, I don't want to say understandable, because I think it's massively overrated and massively overpaid, but it's more like, okay, that's the more professional side of football.
Yeah, no, like, I guess that's another thing. It's kind of like, I have no problem, like, with going, I guess, if a 17-year-old professional making this, okay, that's one thing, versus, a 17-year-old college, which I guess it depends on where you draw the line there, too. But, I guess I've just spent so much of my life, like, as much as I love college sports and everything, just, like, it's an educational, it's a school, it's a university. It's not like AAA, it's not AA, it's not a farm system, even though it's technically a lot of people like to call it the unpaid farm system. But yeah, I'd rather see you in a farm system and not so much making a mock. I don't really care if you want to be at 18, 19, 20, go professional, go for it. But making a mockery of like university people who actually either have to now with the massive amount of love that people want to charge for to go to universities, and just the people that just there to like we want to learn and be a doctor, or education, or engineer, or biologist, or whatnot. Like, just separate them to me.
Yeah, it's like education definitely still needs to be like the main focal point.
Yeah, and I think it gets lost nowadays. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
hopefully,
sports should be second,
yeah.
But you know,
all right. So
that's just not the way it is.
Yeah. But I say now that we've pretty much done like a whole freaking college episode at this point.
I was gonna say that's the episode done anyway.
Yeah, let's wrap it up and do that. I guess let's see. We've had a few comments and whatnot. Let's see if there's anybody who has any questions for either you or me. I guess at this point, for anything doing with the podcast. Obviously, we have to wait for the delay in the answer.
Yep.
Get to editing, Asa.
Hey, if I had a guitar or a key or a bass here, I'd like totally play some elevator music or something just to pass it.
No. Yeah, so that's always the weird part because I'm like, ask questions, and I have to like wait a second because I'm like, okay, chat, say something because I know you have to wait 30 seconds for me. But
okay, get to editing that mini-sode.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, we don't have really too much going on. We had to feel better, but is there anything else about the podcast you're either looking forward to or want to see, or I guess either stuff that you'd like to talk about? I guess because I know, like I said, you're the editor or whatnot, so you don't get to talk as much as some of the, obviously I do, or Kate or Adrian does.
It's alright. I talk to myself when I'm editing.
As long as you don't answer, it'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, there's been a couple. It gets really weird sometimes because I keep hearing your guys' voices like, you know, every week for a good few hours. So it's kind of like, yeah, I remember talking about that. It's like, oh no, I remember you guys talking about that. I just had a web myself.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a little weird listening to us all. So that's why I was just kind of seeing, like, is there anything?
Yeah, I mean, obviously just some topics that I know a little bit more about, but also more topics that I don't know anything about because, you know, I do like learning about them. So.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what you know. We have, since we do have the schedule up now on our website, we do have Shark Week is coming.
Okay, well, I like sharks.
I would hope so.
Sharks are underrated. They're giant sea puppies.
I swear, people in there like turning every animal into a sea puppy or into a puppy is Game of Thrones as well.
I've honestly never seen it. Okay, right. So Game of Thrones and Walking Dead, I am waiting for it all to end. I want it all to be done. I want it to be no more seasons. Then I'm just gonna binge watch the whole thing in a week. Because I can't. I hate cliffhangers. It really winds me up.
Well, I mean, at this
I want
like
the cliffhanger.
7 seasons of each of them. Why don't you watch all those?
No, because I'm gonna get to the end and I gotta wait for season 8. The only cliffhanger I like is when I have to go get more snacks. Like, oh no, what's gonna happen in 3 minutes when I press play again? Oh no, can't wait. Not like, hey, what's gonna happen next year?
On that note, keep going. I believe it's cosplay after that. I don't know how much.
I would like to cosplay. I just don't really have the skill to make anything.
Don't have the skill or have the places to go.
Well, I mean, I've got Comic-Con coming up on the Isle of Wight, so you know I've got the perfect platform for it. I just suck at making things normally.
That's true. Yeah, just throw some together, hook some up.
Well, I mean, I was talking about Warhammer 40k. I would totally make Space Marine power armor out of foam if I had the skill to be able to do it.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of work. You should probably start a little smaller than giant foam armor. Yeah, I'm assuming.
I don't actually make swords. No, I have a couple, and I have my own mini forge that I built from scratch that I recycle aluminium cans with, and I keep like the bars and stuff that I make. So I will be making stuff out of aluminium eventually. In fact, where I work in an electronics company, I've been collecting copper from loads of copper wiring, so I can melt down some copper too, for kind of making it. Oh man, okay, aluminium.
Yeah, I was confused for a second.
Yeah.
I was like, I think he's saying aluminum, as they say in America, but aluminium.
Hey, there's an extra I in there. I'm just saying, there's an I in there.
Sure.
Yeah, look, there's an I in there. Where's the I in
With
aluminum?
The oxygen in the methane, in the ether.
Oh man.
We like the methane. That's why I like the moon planted. The moon, yeah, America. The moon Titan, because of all the methane. They have lakes of methane. So yeah, that's cool. You should try to. I mean, probably can start small. We have our cosplayer with some of her blogs, which I'm going to have to yell at her some more to continue on her cosplay. She cosplayed this weekend, which we'll be adding pictures for her birthday. Which I just realized that we left out of our RTX recap. I feel bad now. I'm sorry, Quinn.
Oh.
I know we adopted you as a cosplayer, but no, she's great. So hopefully, if you really want to, we could probably try to find that as well.
Yep.
We have the Spider-Man recap coming, so that means you need to go watch Spider-Man.
Yeah, I need to go watch that.
Yeah, because that could be interesting. Definitely.
It'd be like Guardians of the Galaxy all over again.
Did you ever see Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, I missed it. I gotta wait for DVD.
Poor guy. And I think those are at least the next 4 we have in the thing. Then that brings us into August, and so I guess that will probably be our next set of what comes up. I'm pretty sure there'll probably be a Defenders episode coming along the way. That brings you released. Have you watched any of those?
What? Sorry, Defenders.
So that would involve Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Daredevil.
I watched a couple episodes
Jessica
of Luke
Jones.
Cage. I did like it, but I never actually finished watching it. I suck at watching TV. I just don't really watch much of it. The only thing I really watch is like American Dad every now and then. If like I'm in bed and I can't sleep or something, I'll just hit the TV on. It's the only thing decent that's on.
Okay.
But I did like what I saw of Luke Cage, so.
I personally like Daredevil the best, even though season 2 kind of made me frustrated, but I'm
Okay.
excited for season 3. Iron Fist was awful. Well, it wasn't completely awful, but it was a letdown.
Wasn't what you hoped.
The first 4 episodes are boring. The guy was a terrible fighter. Yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully, during this time, he's learned how to fight, and it'll be a lot better. We'll see what happens.
A little bit.
We'll see what happens. But, yeah. So, I mean, we're going on a little over 2 hours, so I think, unless there's really anything else, I figure we could wrap this one up and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I just didn't know if there's anything else you want for the But Why Though podcast that you feel?
No, I've pretty much said what I want. We can do a couple of skits, or I can do a lot of sound effects and music too. I've got a few topics I'd like to see at some point. And yeah.
You know how to use
Well, I know.
Okay, that's good.
I know how to use Dropbox, but you know, I'm here right now.
That's fine. That's good. Well, like I said, we'll try to look in. I mean, it's always a hard deal. We're always looking for definitely suggestions and whatnot. I think there actually is a list if you can put in there.
Yeah.
So right on there. So yeah, we'll wait and see. Give about 30 seconds. See if anybody, before we wrap the show up, does anybody have any questions for either one of us about, at this point, any of our episodes or anything you want to see per se in the future?
Or if anyone wants me to say anything in my funny accent, Kate.
Always love these silence.
I know, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, that's fine. Well, let's just wrap this up. Oh, we hope we do have something.
Or garage or garage? Which one?
You say the garage.
Garage.
How do you say it?
Garage.
Garage. It's okay. I can't pronounce everything either. I get made fun of all the time. As long as you know what you're talking about, it's okay. Enunciations are overrated.
I know what I mean. I know what I mean. You know what I mean. You just like picking on me.
It's all right. All right. Well, thanks everybody for checking this out. This has been the other side of the wormhole. Meet the editor. We've had a nice conversation about stuff about the podcast and our episodes and possibly future episodes with Asa, our editor. This will be up on our website, butwhythoughpodcast.com, where you can check out all the and our YouTube channel, where you can check out all the other episodes of just listening to me talk about our episodes of things we were just, as I like to call them, the lost thoughts of the podcast, but why though the podcast, or what basically didn't make it in the episode. Feel free to check those out, along with downloading and listening to our episodes on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or even find them at the SoundCloud. TuneIn. I still don't know what TuneIn is. I just say TuneIn. Or just check everything out at the website if you want to be involved, and obviously either with the streams and whatnot. You know, you can either hit us up on any of our social medias at But Why Though PC, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We take questions. Comments. I'll try to answer everything as best I can. If you have a problem with something, or we got something incorrect you feel in the episode, or we just happen to leave something out, let us know. And if it's a problem, if it's something I said, let me know. And if you want me to, I will drag one of our other lovely hosts, either Adrian or Kate, back on here, and they can answer your question for you, so it's not just me all the time. Or if you have another question for our editor as well, feel free to let us know. Whew. Now that I did all that, thanks for coming out and listening to us. And I will be streaming again on Friday. Who's lovelier? I'll let Asa answer that question.
Who is lovelier, Adrian or Kate? Well, I think you got an easy answer there, haven't you?
Nope.
Okay, well, you need to answer correctly, otherwise your door is going to open.
It's probably more of the I need to answer correctly versus I have an easy answer. I think there was only one option on that question. That was a very baited question and loaded question.
Yeah, you need to say the right thing, otherwise that door behind you is going to swing open.
Probably swing open before because of that dog. But anyways, yeah, so thanks for coming out. Thanks for listening. And see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Have a good evening.